I have a lot of thoughts on this book.
I didn't expect for me to finish it in 48 hours, but then also complain so much about it.
Okay, book babes, lock your doors, grab your coffee, because today we're talking about The Housemaid.
The supposed thriller that had us side-eyeing everyone in the house and questioning every too-good-to-be-true job listing on LinkedIn.
From jaw-dropping moments to characters that made us want to literally throw the book across the room, we have a lot of thoughts.
We'll cover what worked, what didn't, if it's worth the hype, and whether you should add it to your next book club lineup.
Okay, let's get into The Housemaid, the book that proves nothing is ever as perfect as it looks. And also, quick plug, please, if you are a consistent listener or you're here for the first time, give us a rating, give us a review, drop us a comment. We would love to see any of it, and all of those things help us tremendously. So thank you in advance. Let's get into a quick high-level spoiler-free recap. We will be keeping this episode as spoiler-free as possible so that you know if you should read it or not.
Yeah.
But you can also come back and listen to our thoughts later on.
Let's get into this recap. So The Housemaid opens with Millie. She's a down-on-her-luck ex-convict who has just finished serving a 10-year in prison stint for something we do not know about. She is living out of her car. She's just been evicted because she can't pay her rent. She can't get a job because she's a convict. And then she somehow lands this great job interview in this beautiful suburb of Long Island, New York. A rich couple is looking for a housemaid. The offer seems too good to be true. There's great pay, a live-in maid, so there's a roof over her head, and a chance to finally get her life back on track. The only problem is she doesn't know if she's going to pass the background check. Surprise, surprise, she does. At first, Millie is taken under the wing of the family's eccentric but seemingly perfect wife, Nina Winchester. But soon the picture starts to crack. Her maid's quarters turn out to be a tiny attic room with a cot and a sealed window. The immaculate home she saw during her interview is now in complete disarray. And as the days go on, Millie realizes something isn't right in this house. The wife's on edge, the husband's too perfect, and the attic door only locks from the outside.
Oh, never a good sign.
No, this is a suspense that is made for the big screen. Fast, creepy, and impossible to put down.
Wow, I have a lot of thoughts. We have to start with how Ev and I typically start books, and that's through audio.
Yeah, we are chronic tandem readers. Like, we listen and physically read every book.
Yes, and the audiobook for this book was so tough. So tough. The voice actor was actually great. Like, she did a lot of the different voices pretty well. But Millie is from Brooklyn. And so she was doing a Brooklyn accent for Millie the whole time. And it was just not good.
No.
It was tough to listen to.
And I would like to advocate that every audiobook should be more than one narrator. Like, we need to be in a time where we're doing like duet narrations, at least, where there's like a man and a woman, or two women, like whatever.
Yeah.
Like, we need to have multiple voices, because forcing this poor great voice actor, who I'm sure has many accolades, to do a Brooklyn accent was not correct.
Yeah, it was tough. So that's our intro to the book, and that was really interesting. And then you get into the actual content of the book, and like, we had just finished this like very sad book. We had just finished The Last Letter by Rebecca Yarros, which was also very well written and like had a beautiful romance, but it was like soul crushing. And so then you get into this book, and it's like, oh my God, this is like literally eating McDonald's. Like, I can't stop eating these fries, but they're just so easy to consume.
You're literally like flip, 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 flip. Like, I was on chapter 11 before I even blinked.
Yes, absolutely. Well, the chapters were also so short. They were literally like 5 pages a chapter, and then you were done.
Yeah. I was like, is that a common thing?
I don't know.
Is it because we're like romantic-y readers, we expect every chapter to be 19 pages? Like, I could not believe.
I couldn't believe it either. And I do feel like I've read a lot of different books in different genres. And this one just felt very like the chapters were super short, but then every single one of them ended with some sort of like shock, like some sort of random like jar to your system. And you're like, oh, okay, I guess I'm on to the next fucking chapter.
Yeah, that
like,
was
I don't
the
understand.
other thing. It was, like, immediately into the action, which is really good. Like, you want it to, like, grab the reader's attention, so I have no problem with that. But, like, to
Yeah.
your point, every chapter ended with a cliffhanger where you're like, "This book is so twisty that it's, like, starting to be unbelievable."
I just like didn't feel like there was any logic to this story whatsoever. Like the way that the twists happened, the way that the characters would decide on anything or like go about themselves in any way, it just didn't make sense to me. And I felt like every character ended up just annoying me by the end of it. It's like I'm
Yeah.
just ready to be done with these people.
Speaking of Millie, our main character who is like 10 years fresh out of prison, and maybe
Yeah.
that's why she was so naive because she hadn't been in the public and hadn't watched Real Housewives. But I think that she was just like falling for these like traps left and right.
I guess so, but then you like learn more about her at the end, and I was like, she's not as naive as she was putting out, like as she was like purporting to be. So I don't, that's where I'm like, it just didn't feel very logical to me, like the progression and like how things were revealed at the end.
Yeah. The best character in the book by far was a side character named Enzo. He was the
Oh, yeah.
Italian gardener.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh my
By
God.
far.
Do you remember the show Desperate Housewives? And there was like
Yeah.
a pool boy or like a
Yeah.
handyman that
Who like
everybody was
Eva
obsessed with.
Longoria ends up like having an affair with.
Yeah. I was like, that is Enzo. And it like really scratched the itch of my nostalgia for like early 2000s sitcoms. And so I was
Yes.
eating him up.
Yes, I totally agree. And he also was the only character that I felt like made sense in my brain. Like the things he would do, the things he would say, the way he would like show up. I was like, okay, this all makes sense.
Yeah.
Like the rest of them were just so out of hand that I was like, okay, Enzo, you are the only person that is actually like feeling like a real person to me.
Yeah, 100%. And I would love to talk about how this book is set in Long Island.
Yeah.
Did that make sense to you in your brain when you were reading it?
Yeah, it did.
No.
Yeah, why not?
No.
Why?
Have you ever been to Long Island before?
Yes, I have family that used to live in Long Island.
I was picturing like this ritzy, like Connecticut suburb. Like my husband is like a finance bro in New York City, and we live in this super classy gated community. Or like picturing like in the South, like Southern charm type of like gated community. I don't know. Long Island wasn't giving that to me.
That's literally, you just described Long Island. Like
I've never
rich
been.
people go there to live and like to have their like estates, and then they literally just like commute into the city.
Frida, please pay for me to go to Long Island so that I can support your choices. But on top of that, like, why was Millie the only one with an accent? I know people from Long Island have accents.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that was like a voice actor choice. Now I'm realizing. Like I just don't think that needed to be incorporated.
I just like the amount of plot holes in this whole story, including the audiobook accent choices, the location, the naivety of the characters was just baffling.
I don't know, the setting like didn't throw me off as much. Like I think just everything else was so crazy that I was like, oh yeah, this is in Long Island. Like that's totally fine. That makes sense. Like there's a lot of like New York rich people that live there.
So were you ever once like scared in this book?
No, never.
Yeah, me either.
I don't. So it's categorized as a psychological thriller, which maybe for people that read more psychological thrillers, this makes sense because I guess, when you look back on a lot of the twists and like the foreshadowing and whatever, it made sense that there was this game going on, this game of chess going on for sure. But I just didn't feel like there was any depth to it,
I saw somebody online like refer to this as a popcorn read, and I thought that was so funny because I kept wanting to call it a beach read, but I'm like, obviously it's not beachy. Like it's too dark to be a beach read. And so they called it a popcorn read, which I thought was so cute, and I 100% agree with.
So does that mean that you were just like sitting on your couch, like eating popcorn mindlessly?
Yeah. Like almost like you're Yeah, almost like you're watching, like, a Netflix original movie.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I truly felt like this was like a junk food book, honestly, where I'm like,
Yeah.
my nothing's happening in my brain. Like, no side of not my right or my left side are like lighting up at this book. Like, I'm just like truly consuming it like mindlessly. And then like
Yeah.
the end happens, and you're like, oh,
Oh, yeah.
okay. Like, I
The
kind of like also knew what was going to happen at the end. Like, not to the
Agree.
extent that it happened, but like I knew who was going to be the bad person. I knew what was happening like in the marriage. Like, it just didn't, none of it felt shocking to me, which I feel like for a psychological thriller, like I should feel genuinely shocked.
I agree, and I do think a lot of that has to do with the writing, which I did not realize because this is our first Frida McFadden, that she's
Yeah.
not a writer by trade, she's a doctor.
Yes. Yeah.
And
And Frida McFadden is her pen name, so she
yeah,
can hide behind it.
yeah, and I saw something online that was like she chose to have a pen name so that her like patients wouldn't think that she wasn't capable of being a good doctor because of her writing.
I would
And
fully think that.
same. I was like, that was a good decision because if the style you just wrote in what translated to you being my brain surgeon, I would also be concerned.
Absolutely. Like, not just again like the just general flow of the story and the way that she wrote it, but then the end of the book.
Yeah.
I remember putting my Kindle down and being like, is that how this ends? Like, is that how this like goes on? Because this also becomes a series of like 3 books or something.
Oh, more, I think.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I was imagining this ending. Like, I've never been an author. I don't know how this actually works, but I'm imagining Frida went to her editor and was like, I have these 5 possible endings. And the editor was like, take 1 page from all of them and make it the end.
Frankenstein the end.
Because that's truly what it felt like.
No, it did. And it honestly had the opposite effect for me where I was like, I never want to read any of these other books.
Same.
Like, ever.
Yeah.
Like, I just truly cannot imagine getting to this ending and being like, oh my God, gotta get into Housemaid too right
Well,
after this.
Again, our first Frida, we didn't know, and this isn't a spoiler, the entire series is about Millie. And I honestly did not ever need to see Millie again after this book.
But
Yes.
again, I finished this book so quick. Like, I actually finished it in a day.
I think it's because you don't have to use any of your brain cells to read it. Like, so you have a
Yeah.
long day of work, you get off work, you're like, I don't want to have to think about anything.
Yeah.
So I can read this book and not have to process anything. Like,
Yeah,
you could
that's true.
be reading a chapter and like your thoughts could wander to like what you're going to have for dinner and you don't have to go back and reread that chapter.
Yeah, that's so true. Literally the most interesting part about this book, I thought that in terms of like how she wrote it was the dynamic between women. Like, and I feel like maybe that's a theme that comes up with psychological thrillers because I think a lot of times like men tend to be the evil people in a lot of these books. And so, but there's like this whole thing of like women turning against each other and like pitting each other against each other. And I felt like that was so consistent, not just like between Nina and Millie, but also with like Nina's friends or like the other moms at the school or whatever. Like, I felt like any time that any other woman was present in this book, they were like trashing other women.
And it seemed to be like a jealousy thing to an extent.
Yeah.
Like, I want your life kind of vibe. Yeah. Frida, we didn't need to do that.
I don't know that we didn't need to, but I was like, this is interesting. Like, I do wonder if this is like something that kind of like plays into like the psychology of like these thrillers where you like believe the man and you like fall for the man and whatever because like all of the women around you are being so horrible.
Maybe that's it because, like, I've never read a psychological thriller until this, but I was kind of like, can women just support women? Like, I'm fed up.
I'm over it. I'm over
For
it.
it.
I'm done. Like, I think when you have like really good, strong female like presence in your life, like there's enlightenment that comes out of that like you check each other on your bullshit. Like, there's just so many things that come out of it, and like you check your blind spots with each other. Like, if Millie had a really good friend, like I guarantee that she wouldn't have gotten in that scenario. And same thing with Nina.
Right. Yeah.
And you know what? I think that's also consistent. Like, when these women don't have good friends, that's when they end up with these sketchy things happening to them.
Yep, I agree. And so maybe that's why Frida couldn't give them any good friends because they needed to be sketched. 1 point for Frida. I'll give you your point there.
There you go. Okay, let's talk about who should potentially read this and who should definitely not read this.
Oh, I have a very strong opinion about this.
Okay, hit me.
I think that this is actually an amazing book club book. And as much as I just tried to convince you you don't need to read it,
Yeah, what?
I think literally every book club in the United States should read this because if you have like a melting pot of readers where like some like romantasy, some like thrillers, some like romance, it's really hard to find like a medium ground for those people. And
Yeah.
this is like literally not in any genre, I feel like. So I think
Yeah.
everybody would like it.
I don't know that I would agree with that. I agree that like our book clubs would really like this because our book clubs are very like girly, chatty. Like we don't get into like
Mm.
literary analysis and we don't like pick apart themes and motifs and whatever. Like we're just sitting and like gossiping about the characters and like the shit we hated about them and like the things that we loved about them.
Yeah.
And I think for those book clubs, this book, I totally agree, is perfect because it was literally like watching a reality TV show that was really bad. But I do think for book clubs that are very serious and they read like more serious literature and all of that stuff, which I have friends in those kinds of book clubs, I think that they would literally throw this book out the window.
Yes, I am strictly thinking of social book clubs.
Yes. Social book clubs read this book.
Yeah, because
Real
also
book
like
clubs do not read this book.
social book clubs like rarely finish the book. Like it's like good if
Yeah.
half of the book club reads it when we finally get to the day.
That's so
And this
true.
one is so easy to read that I think like everybody would finish it.
I think that I would recommend this also to someone that is in a reading slump because
Yeah.
it's so easy and it's so bingeable because of all of the twists and like the stupid stuff that I feel like it's just something that like would 100% like motivate you to just like power through it. And then once you're done, like at least for me, I was so ready to start another book because I was
Yeah.
like, that was so bad that I need to like have something else in my hands immediately.
Absolutely. And sometimes when I'm in a reading slump, I like lose the confidence in myself of finishing a book. Like
Yeah.
looking at my book, I'm like, I can't possibly pick that up because I'm not going to be able to finish it.
Yeah.
And this one, like, you will finish it so quickly that you'll just, like, to Cassie's point, like, be ready to literally open another book right after.
Yes, I totally agree. But I do think if you are someone, again, who like really can only read pretty solid writing and you can't like read a junk food book without like losing your shit, do not read this book.
Yeah, and I'm not talking junk food like Emily Henry. Like, she actually has some, like, literary prowess. This was, like, a little bit like fanfic, which actually reminds me that people are saying that this is, like, a direct ripoff of the book The Last Miss Parrish.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yes.
is it literally the Last Miss Parrish fanfic?
I don't know because I haven't read that book. But people were saying that there were a lot of consistencies between the two of them, like direct consistencies, where they were like, this really feels like plagiarism. So she's gotten called out like pretty hardcore for that.
Yeah.
Which,
And
who knows? I wouldn't be shocked, to be honest,
I'm
after reading this.
taking that 1 point back, Frida.
I need to read The Last Mrs. Parrish to actually consider that.
I think we should. Like, in the New Year cast, let's read The Last Miss Parrish and put it to the test.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, so speaking of the almost New Year,
Yeah.
the movie adaptation of this is about to come out, and there are some heavy hitters in this movie. It's like Amanda Seyfried, Sydney Sweeney, the guy that was in that Colleen Hoover movie that literally had all of the issues with Blake Lively and
I know. I'm like, you're saying so many trigger words right now.
Sorry. I didn't mean to bring up Coho. But honestly, if you like Colleen Hoover, I think that you would like this book.
100%. Like, if you loved Verity, you would eat this up.
Yeah, so.
But this movie adaptation, I have a lot to simmer on because I do think that, like, again, popcorn read, like you could go to the theater with your large popcorn and large Coke and literally just binge watch this and never think about it again. You'll leave that theater and be like, that was good, moving on.
Right.
It's going to be fun to watch. But The casting is so tough for me.
Wait, I agree. Other than on the men.
Oh, yeah.
Which sounds shitty.
Yeah.
But I actually think that they cast the husband and Enzo kind of perfectly.
Okay, Enzo is like literally looks like he just walked off the Versace runway. So like
that's how he's described in this book pretty much. Like every single scene that he's in, someone is saying how attractive he is.
That's
like consistently.
True. But this man is so attractive. What else has he been in?
I don't know.
He is like insane.
What's his name? Michele Morrone, I think.
Is he the guy from that one sex show that everybody was obsessed with for a little bit?
No, which one?
Look up what he's been in.
Oh yeah, he's Michele Morrone. He's been in 365 Days.
Yes.
That's the one you're talking about. And you're right, he was in that.
And people were obsessed with him. And then he showed up on an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians because I think Chloe,
they were trying to get Chloe with him.
Because he's so hot.
Yeah,
so is he a gardener? I don't know. But to your point,
but I'm going to enjoy watching that.
Yeah, to your point, my problem doesn't lie with the men. So Nina Winchester is described in this book pretty early on. Very specific mid-sized woman. She wears a size 14 dress. They say that. And it's on purpose that she's described this way, okay? It leads into the story. And to pick Amanda Seyfried, who is quite literally one of the most petite women I've ever seen, feels wrong.
I wonder if they just chose to leave that out because there's like some level of that like progression that they would maybe need to show.
No, she was already like that at the beginning.
Yeah, but then in the parts that I can't talk about, she was not like that.
Oh, but I don't know. I feel like they could have put some like chunk on her. They could have put a weighted vest on her. We just watched Frankenstein. We can see you can transform a human into another body.
CGI is possible. No, I totally agree. I thought that was weird. And it did feel like that was such a distinct point about Nina's character that they decided to just write off. So I didn't understand that at all.
I will say that Amanda Seyfried, her very pale skin and her very
big eyes,
birdy eyes. She does scare me. So I think that she's good for a psychological thriller.
I would agree. Also Sydney Sweeney from Millie, it feels right, but I also just hate Sydney Sweeney.
I know.
I'm just struggling with it in general.
Millie is supposed to be undercover attractive. So she's you can't tell she's so pretty because she's been beat up by the prison system. So it's as soon as she got a good shower in her, her beauty would shine. But Sydney Sweeney, I don't know. Obviously she started getting herself in this hot water post-production.
Yeah.
So they didn't know what they were doing.
Really? I don't know. Did she? I don't know what the timing around that was.
But they cannot possibly put her on a press tour.
No. She needs to be behind the curtains at all time, even though she's literally a main character, the main character.
They just need to send the man playing Enzo out for the whole tour.
Michele Morrone needs to be front and center, even though he probably has 4 scenes total in the movie. I do actually think that the movie is going to be better than the book.
Agree. Yeah, it's definitely those movies that have been coming out where Jennifer Garner is a spurned woman.
Yeah.
It's totally one of those types of movies.
Totally. Yeah. I actually
Jennifer Garner flick.
A Jennifer Garner flick. Okay, let's get into our final rating because I feel like I really have a lot of thoughts here. So for recommendability, I feel like we kind of covered this, where it's I would recommend this for very specific types of readers and types of book clubs, but I would not recommend this broadly.
No, so I would give it a 3.5 recommendability. It's a very mid recommendability.
Yeah. Again, very specific people. I'm thinking about my friends who watch Bravo and read 4 books a year. I'd be yeah, read this book.
Yeah.
You'll have a good time.
You're going to Europe, read it on the plane.
Yeah, totally. For spice, there was none. At all.
There was one closed door scene.
Yeah, but very black pepper.
Not what you're here for. No.
Yes. No. I had 0 book hangover after this. 0.
I don't know
how anybody... ready to just start another book. I was I need to be done.
I don't know how anybody could argue with us after what they just listened to for 25 minutes.
That's true. That is true. Book club potential we covered. If you are a social book club, this would actually be a great one.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are not, do not read this book. Go nowhere near it. Please.
But it is so checked out at the library. Like the Libby hold on it is like 8 months long.
Okay, what's your final rating?
I would say like a 3.5. Like I read it in like 48 hours.
Yeah, I think I gave it a 3.
Yeah, that's
I
so
really
fair.
I really want to give it less though.
Really?
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 I don't know. I can't recommend this broadly. Like, I wouldn't sleep at night if I was doing that.
On my Goodreads, it's gonna sit at a 3, I think.
I think I put it at a 3 on my Goodreads.
And that's
unless
what
I
matters.
was like rage giving it a 2 when I was final rating.
Why do I feel like you literally cannot change your Goodreads rating? Like once it's locked in, it's in.
I've changed my ratings retroactively. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why?
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 Because I reread books all the time. Like, I went back and changed my Quicksilver rating. I've been changing my ACOTAR ratings since we've been rereading.
I don't agree. I think that you should literally have to add the book again and be like, I read this 4 years later, and this was my rating 4 years later. Because at the time,
be nice. That would be nice. But that's not a function. You need a Goodreads to know this, but that's not a function of Goodreads.
Well, they should ask for my advice more often.
They should bring you in as a consultant. Well, I think that wraps up our review and mid-recommendation of this book. So come back next week. We're covering off on A Court of Frost and Starlight. I literally already want to go to Silver Flames. But we're doing a quick recap of it. We're doing our final review. We're talking about the characters. We're talking about Feyre and Reese's story ending. All of the good stuff. So make sure to tune in. And we'll see you back here. Same time, same place. Grab your blankets, grab your book boyfriends, and we'll see you then.
See ya.